Okay, this is PowerPoint Chapter 3, Video Lesson 4. And in Video Lesson 4, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at graphic formats of both vector and bitmaps and inserting and modifying the clips in the format. Now this beaker graphic right here is one that I pulled out from your data files, and this is a vector graphic. A vector graphic is a piece of artwork that has been created by a drawing program such as CorelDRAW, or in this case, it opened up in Paint. The art picture is used in the project is vector, and it's created by a collection of lines. And vector graphic files stored as data, which is the picture descriptions mathematically. And if you go into the view, and I'm going to turn grid lines on so you can actually see mathematically there's data being stored. So based on the grid lines, it may be like row 3, column 6 is green, or row 3, column 3 is half green. And so there's mathematical calculations that actually pinpoint where the color schemes are. So vector graphics are also known as object-oriented pictures. Clip art pictures in the Microsoft Clip Art Organizer that have the file extension .wmf are examples of the vector files. Vector files can be ungrouped and manipulated on the computer in the PowerPoint program. And that's what we're going to do with this graphic today. So taking a look at other graphic pictures, there is also what we call our bitmap graphics. This happens to be a JPEG image. Typically your JPEG images are from the Joint Photographers Exchange Group extension that is a photograph of an image. Now this one happens to be a planet, Saturn, with some stars in the background. And this is a bitmap graphic, the other major format used to store objects. These art pieces are compressed of a series of small dots that are called pixels, which form shapes and lines. A pixel, short for picture element, is one dot in a grid. A picture that is produced on the computer screen or on paper by a printer is composed of thousands of these dots, just as a bit smaller as compared to the grid line. That's mathematical calculations for the vector graphic. So all this is developed by pixels. You're digitizing of pictures such as scanning, photography are all types of bitmap pictures. They are known as raster images, and the file extension for these are going to be .jpg for JPEG or Joint Photographers Expert Group, .bmp, which is Windows bitmap, .gif, which is a graphic interchange format, and .png, portable network graphic. And these are all examples of bitmap graphic files. Bitmap files cannot be ungrouped and converted to smaller PowerPoint object groups. They can be manipulated, however, in an imaging program such as Paint or Photoshop that allows you to rotate, flip, crop the image in your slides. And actually, PowerPoint does have some image editing tools that we'll be using too. So this is a JPEG image, and we're going to close this out. When you look in your folder though, and you hover over some of these images, you'll get a flag that will tell you what type of image it is. The beaker is a .wmf. That's a Windows media format, and that is a vector image. This winter image that we used in the second slide in the smart art, however, is a .jpeg, and this is a bitmap type image. So we're going to be inserting and modifying the clips in our slide. So to change the slide layout, first of all, let's go to slide 3. So in your PowerPoint, if you don't have it open, go ahead and stop the video, open up your PowerPoint, and then click on slide 3. And we're going to change the layouts in our layout group. So for aesthetic reasons, you want the clip art to display prominently on the right side of the slide. The following steps change the slide layout to content with caption. Click the next slide button to display slide 3 if you're not on slide 3 already. Click the layout button in the slides group on the ribbon. So here's my slides group, and there's my layout. And then we're going to click content with caption right here to change our layout. Now we're going to increase the font size, so drag through the title text, 8 semester credits required. To display the mini toolbar, if you're not seeing it, just hover back over it. Move the mouse pointer to the transparent mini toolbar. That changes the brightness of the toolbar, and we're going to click font size 32 to change the font size. Drag through the 2 body text paragraphs. And on the mini toolbar, we're going to change this font size to 20. Yep. To insert a clip into the content placeholder, we need to click on the clip art button in the content placeholder, which is the second row, column 2. So that is this one right here. There's little images. You can insert a table, insert a chart, a smart art graphic, a picture, clip art, and a media clip such as audio or video. But we're going to click on this clip right here, and that is going to bring up our clip art gallery. Now we can search for clip art in this gallery. And look for our clip arts. So different options of clip art. And we're actually going to use this beaker clip arts. So we're going to change that. And then we're going to close the button on the clip art gallery task pane so that we have more work room. If necessary, you want to increase the beaker clip art size by dragging one of the corner size handles outward until it is filling up a good portion of the slide. Okay, so we're going to center that on the slide like so. Now, to ungroup a clip art, and just remember, we can ungroup vector images, but we cannot ungroup the bitmap type images. To ungroup a clip art, we are going to choose the ungroup button on the format menu. So here's our format ribbon, and over here we have group and then ungroup. You can also do this by right mouse clicking on the picture, choosing group and ungroup. When you ungroup, you will get a prompt that says this is an imported picture, not a group. Do you want to convert it to a Microsoft Office object drawing? Yes, we do. And we need to do that first in order to get a good ungroup. So we'll need to ungroup again. And all of a sudden you see all these little dots and handles of the image, okay? So when we converted the drawing, we were able to ungroup. On the format, we want to click the groups button again to get this relayed of a picture. We're going to arrange the group and click the ungroup again to break up the beaker in a sense. So click outside the clip area to display the clip without all those handles, okay? In the beaker itself, we have a smiley face, some fill, some arms, gray shading, a background, and each one of these now are separate items. So I'm going to click on portions of this item because all I want to show is just the beaker, and I'm going to delete these items out. So all the green I'm going to delete, and we're able to do that because we ungrouped it. So I'm deleting all the green in here. And what we did was separate this object into separate pieces. Here's another green piece right there. And then I'm also going to delete the grays. So we just want the beaker. And then I'm going to delete the arms, the legs, and then finally the face. So all the white components in the beaker that does not deal with the fluid itself. The shadows of the white for the fluids you can leave in there. And if you deleted something you shouldn't have, sometimes you can move that out, delete, and bring that object back in. So I just deleted the components out of that beaker to show in the slide. All the green, all the gray, the arms, the legs, and the face that was inside the beaker. The smiley is cutesy, but for a professional presentation, the beaker is appropriate without the smiley. So I was able to undo that with the vector graphic because it was ungrouped. Now, we may decide to change colors so we can format the shape and our fill color. Let's say we didn't want black fluid or chemicals in our beaker. And sometimes that gives us a little bit more definition of what is black and what is blue in our bottle. So I might want to change my bubbles here so that they're blue too. Just to be consistent, I'm going to change that to the same color blue. And there you go. So my fluid now is a different color in the beaker by changing that fill color. Now, just keep in mind we have separate parts of our beaker here, and the separate parts of our beaker are not movable. In fact, if I were to grab this handle and move, that is showing the whole selection area, but there's my beaker, and I'm just going to undo. There's my fluid, and I'm undoing. So we need to group this back again so that we can actually use this beaker as one object rather than many pieces of an object. Okay? So when I click and drag an area over that beaker, you can actually see all these pieces of the object. And I've got two little floating pieces out here of the beaker that are grays that I somehow missed. So I'm going to select those separately and delete them. And when I get this grouped again, it's right mouse click, group, and then regroup. Now I have one image, so if I go to move this beaker, I'm moving the whole beaker and not just parts of the beaker. Okay? So that's what you want to do, is you want to take out those parts, change the beaker so that the fluid color is blue, and then regroup it again. Okay, we're going to stop this lesson here. Go ahead and update your save. In the next lesson, we will do another Smart Arts graphic.